What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we have got some Need for Speed 2015 gameplay. I actually had the opportunity to go down to Guildford and record some Need for Speed earlier this month, and oh my lord, was the game fun. But today, that's not what we're going to be discussing. We're actually going to be discussing the BMW M2, as you can see on your screen right now. Now, this car was unreal, both performance-wise and I think looks-wise. It does look pretty nice stock, but it's Need for Speed 2015. Of course, we're going to go ahead and slap some rims on as well as a wide body. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and discuss the actual body options for this car and then go through it, customize it, etc, etc. So depending on what car you go with, it's going to have a different customization options. Some cars will probably have more customization options than others, and the M2 was quite good in how many options it actually had, considering the car was only literally just announced. So, the body options, I'll bring up a big old list here, which you can see it had, you know, the wide body, the front split, the diffuser, the exhaust, the spoiler, and a whole lot more, as you can see on the screen now. I'm not going to insult you guys can read, so, you know, there's the big long list of stuff you can change. Now, as well as having an absolute load of customization options, the car handled really well. Now, I didn't put a lot of performance customization on the car, but it performed pretty goddamn good. It's easily a car which can be used for all types of events. You know, you can easily make this a drift car, but at the same time you can easily make it a grip car. It's kind of a good all-rounder, a jack of all trades, a master of none, really. You're not going to be able to, you know, get ridiculous scores on drift events or get ridiculous times on grip events, but if you get your tune right, you can definitely make this a jack of all trades quite easily. And what I kind of found was the car was fast, but it wasn't quite fast enough to keep up with, say, an Aventador. But at the same time, it was quite drifty, but it wasn't as drifty as, say, an S15. So, you know, it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of what you expect it to be. That's the only real way of explaining how this car handles in-game. And I will show a bit of that later on. But don't get me wrong, this car is pretty fast. Okay, so now you can actually go ahead and see me changing the suspension tuning. Now you can change the stance of the car, basically. So how low you want it to be, how wide you want the wheel offset to be, you know, the camber, all that kind of stuff. And that's basically all that the suspension does, and then obviously all the tuning in terms of how your car actually handles is within the handling tuning, which we will see in a minute. One thing I absolutely loved about the customization in this game was how it really does affect how your car sounds as well as appears. So say with the exhaust, if you change your exhaust to, say, I change it to a carbon exhaust, you can actually really tell how the car sounds different, if you know what I mean. So I had the stock exhaust on for a while because I hadn't unlocked the custom exhaust, and as soon as I unlocked the custom exhaust, I went ahead and slapped on a carbon one, and you could really tell the difference, which again was just mad in itself. And now finally we can see the handling tuning. So you can either use the master slider right at the top, or you can use the individual sliders. Now me personally, I was more kind of an individual sliders guy, because sometimes when you'd use the master slider, it wouldn't turn off, say, brake drifting, and I kind of like that off. So it really depends on who you are and what you kind of prefer. Obviously you have the performance upgrade as well. I kind of did it backwards. I did the handling tuning and then did the performance upgrades. Really, if you're going to do it properly, do it the other way around, because then you're going to unlock more options in terms of the tuning bars. So do it the other way around. I did it the wrong way. But anyway, you can see me go ahead and changing everything here. There's a lot of options. You know, there's a lot of upgrades you can do. You can easily make this, say, up with an Aventador. Earlier on I said it's not as fast as an Aventador. Obviously you're going to need to use more upgrades, and I didn't get a chance to unlock every single thing in the game, but you probably could if you upgraded it enough. But either way, this car is absolutely mad, and me personally, I love the way it looks, and the way it sounded with that carbon exhaust was absolutely insane. Okay, and now we can see I'm taking it out for a spin. Now in this race specifically, you needed to beat 150 miles per hour during the time trial for it to be a valid lap. Now I really struggled with this event in the car I was in previously. I can't remember what I was in, but I was in some type of other car, and I was really struggling to hit the 150 mark. But as soon as I put some upgrades in this M2 and just let it out on a straight, this thing just annihilated that score. And as you can see, it sounds amazing as well as look amazing. I think it really worked well with that kind of really dark bluey metallic color. I think it looks really nice. I think I did a really good job. As you can see through the corners, it's quite grippy. It's a grippy drift car. That's the only way to really handle it. To get it out, it is going to take a bit of effort, especially with the tuning slider I had on, but you can definitely get it sliding, and it's very redeeming when you do, I'll say that much. And that's really about it for the BMW M2 in Need for Speed 2015. If you guys found this video helpful, enjoyable, or just generally useful, hit the like, subscribe. There's going to be a lot more Need for Speed 2015 content on the channel, so make sure to go ahead and just keep an eye out for that. But you guys have been awesome, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Sometimes when you use the master slider, it wouldn't turn off, say, brake drifting, and I kind of like that off. So it really depends on who you are and what you kind of prefer. Obviously, you have the performance upgrade as well. I kind of did it backwards. I did the handling tuning and then did the performance upgrades. Really, if you're going to do it properly, do it the other way around, because then you're going to unlock more options in terms of the tuning bars. So do it the other way around. I did it the wrong way. But anyway, you can see me go ahead and changing everything here. There's a lot of options. You know, there's a lot of upgrades you can do. You can easily make this say up with an Aventador. Earlier on, I said it's not as fast as an Aventador. Obviously, you're going to need to use more upgrades, and I didn't get a chance to unlock every single thing in the game, but you probably could if you upgraded it enough. But either way, this car is absolutely mad, and me personally, be able to, you know, get ridiculous scores on drift events or get ridiculous times on grip events. But if you get your tune right, you can definitely make this a jack of all trades quite easily. And what I kind of found was the car was fast, but it wasn't quite fast enough to keep up with, say, an Aventador. But at the same time, it was quite drifty, but it wasn't as drifty as, say, an S15. So, you know, it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of what you expect it to be. That's the only real way of explaining how this car handles in-game. And I will show a bit of that later on. But don't get me wrong, this car is pretty fast. Okay, so now you can actually go ahead and see me changing the suspension tuning. Now you can change the stance of the car, basically. So how low you want it to be, how wide you want the wheel offset to be, you know, the camber, all that kind of stuff. And that's basically all. Cars will probably have more customization options than others, and the M2 was quite good in how many options it actually had, considering the car was only literally just announced. So, the body options, I'll bring up a big old list here, which you can see. It had, you know, the wide body, the front split, the diffuser, the exhaust, the spoiler, and a whole lot more, as you can see on the screen now. I'm not going to insult you guys can read, so, you know, there's the big long list of stuff you can change. Now, as well as having an absolute load of customization options, the car handled really well. Now, I didn't put a lot of performance customization on the car, but it performed pretty goddamn good. It's easily a car which can be used for all types of events. You know, you can easily make this a drift car, but at the same time, you can easily make it a grip car. It's kind of a good all-rounder, a jack of all trades, a master of none, really. You're not going to... What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we have got some Need for Speed 2015 gameplay. I actually had the opportunity to go down to Guildford and record some Need for Speed earlier this month, and oh my lord, was the game fun. But today, that's not what we're going to be discussing. We're actually going to be discussing the BMW M2, as you can see on your screen right now. Now, this car was unreal, both performance-wise and I think looks-wise. It does look pretty nice stock, but it's Need for Speed 2015. Of course, we're going to go ahead and slap some rims on as well as a wide body. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and discuss the actual body options for this car and then go through it, customize it, etc, etc. So depending on what car you go with, it's going to have a different customization options. Some that the suspension does, and then obviously all the tuning in terms of how your car actually handles is within the handling tuning, which we will see in a minute. One thing I absolutely loved about the customization in this game was how it really does affect how your car sounds as well as appears. So say with the exhaust, if you change your exhaust to, say I change it to a carbon exhaust, you can actually really tell how the car sounds different, if you know what I mean. So I had the stock exhaust on for a while because I hadn't unlocked the custom exhaust, and as soon as I unlocked the custom exhaust, I went ahead and slapped on a carbon one, and you could really tell the difference, which again was just mad in itself. And now finally we can finally see the handling tuning. So you can either use the master slider right at the top, or you can use the individual sliders. Now me personally, I was more kind of an individual sliders guy, because some